Hello, fight fans, and welcome to the Combat Challenge podcast. My guest is Mike Figlak, a professional MMA athlete who just competed on Cagewarriors 120 against Stephen Clockety Hooper. Mike, thank you so much for joining us in such short notice, my brother.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on the show.
No, it's my pleasure, my friend. Now, the first thing I'm going to ask you is, what was the game plan and what did you know about Stephen and how to deal with his fighting style?
So in terms of the game planning, I don't go too deep into that, to be honest. I kind of focus on myself. But of course, I did have a look at some of his fights. And then my coach, Paul Sutherland, also had a look at his fights. And we knew that the best thing that he does is set up his triangles from the bottom position, and then that he most likely is going to try to grapple me because after my last two performances, he probably won't want to stand up with me. So we kind of knew that he's going to try to take it down to the ground, and that he would probably pull guard because he would not be able to take me down because of my wrestling. So we kind of expected that, but as I said, I don't go too deep into the game plans. I kind of, at the end of the day, it's a fight. So if you get hit, a lot of things can change. I just believe that I have a good fight IQ inside the octagon, and then I can adjust to any opponent with my style, and then put my pace on them. What else did we cover? We covered just a few defenses of the triangle, and I obviously work with very good grapplers in my gym. I obviously have my brother. I have Mario Said, who's a very high level black belt. Ronnie Mann, who also helped me during this camp, and these guys are very, very high level grapplers. And then obviously the guys that I also other guys in the gym that we kind of drilled in those bad positions where they would try to basically use 100% of their strength and skill to basically get me in certain positions that Stephen Hooper likes to go into.
For sure, my brother. Thank you for sharing that with us. Now, if you can talk us through the fight and how the rounds played out.
So first round, I went in there like any other fight, just trying to put my pace on him, and then he started shooting straight off the bat. Really, as soon as he kind of felt my shots, he started shooting the takedowns. But I have very good takedown defense, so he was just having a very hard time. At one stage, he kind of like grabbed onto my foot and tried to go for a foot lock, but I cleared my knee very quickly and then escaped that position. And then I started to go to work in the striking. Of course, I didn't feel like he was that dangerous on the ground. I just enjoy striking, and I want to put my opponents away. So that's the thing for me. I just want to get the fight finished. And then at the end of the round, he kind of I decided to stay and grapple with him for a little bit, and I ended up doing some damage on top. I kind of felt what he had on the ground, and like I said, the guys that I train with are very, very high level guys. So when I actually felt him on the ground, I thought, oh, okay, this is, I'm very comfortable here. I am a very good grappler myself, so I was very comfortable to stay on the ground with him and just use my ground and pound, break him up a little bit. And I was thinking of maybe passing, maybe going for a few submissions myself. But like I said before, I really enjoy striking. I want to get highlight reel finishes. So I kind of decide to stand with people.
Sure. And when the first round finished, and you were walking back to your corner, did you think it was something that you had in the bag, or were you not sure who won that round?
No, I felt very comfortable. I felt like I was winning the fight. I caught him with that elbow at the end of the first round, which cut him open. So I kind of thought I'm just going to work that a little bit with my punches. But what happened was in the first round and actually before the fight, I had a bit of an injury to my hand. I think I have a fractured knuckle. And what happened was when I actually stood with him and started to hit him with the right hand, I could feel quite a lot of pain from it. So 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 in the second round, I started to switch it up a little bit and go a lot more to the body, because the body is a bit softer, so I wouldn't damage the knuckle as much, and then I would select a few right hands within the round. But apart from that, everything was fine. I was doing very good. I was using my movement, because he was he was like a plodding target. Let's say he just kept moving forward on me, and I knew that his his game plan was to just take me down and then try to work from there. But yeah, I think I was doing very well. And then in the second round, I was doing the same as in the first. I was defending the takedowns and then doing the damage striking.
When the round finished, how bad do you think the cut was? And if you can tell us where the cut was on Stephen.
So when the second round finished, I knew that the cut was quite bad, because I could see him obviously all the time right in front of me, and it was bleeding over his eyes and things like that. But I didn't want the fight to be stopped, and I didn't think it was going to be stopped. It never kind of went through my mind. But then when I was in my corner, I was looking at him, and I could see the doctors kind of waving it off, and I was like, all right, so the fight is done. But so I was kind of disappointed that the fight finished like that, because I want to get highlight reel knockouts in all my fights, to be honest. And going back to my last fight, that's what I did. So coming away with kind of a victory, which is stopped by a doctor, I wasn't like ecstatic or anything. Of course, I appreciate the victory and I am grateful for the victory, but it was a little bit disheartening that it ended like that. And then maybe I was a bit annoyed that my hand was in the state that it was, that I wasn't able to kind of knock him out before that happened.
Well, when it comes to the cut, I mean, I've seen the picture, and also I've done a podcast with Steve. It was quite a deep laceration above his eyebrow. And when he went backstage, I think he ended up with maybe like 6 or 7 stitches they need to put in as well.
Yeah. So of course I knew that he was a tough guy, and he just kept coming forward even after he was cut. So I respect him for that. He tried to keep going no matter what. So fair play to him. He's a warrior. But at the end of the day, just like I said before the fight, if he survives the first round, he'll just be taking more and more damage.
For sure, brother. Now, that chapter with Stephen Hooper, that's closed now, and that's in the rearview mirror. What's in the pipeline for the future for you, my brother? Do you know, or are you still waiting to see?
I'm waiting to see, because this one's just finished. But of course, I want to get that title. I want to get it this year. So I think my next 2 fights, or even my next fight, I think it's going to determine that. It's going to show that I am the #1 contender, and then I should get that title call by the end of the year. And that's what I want, and I believe that's what's going to happen.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for taking time out and coming on so soon after your fight and sharing the fight breakdown with us. And I look forward to having you on future podcasts, my brother.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. Thank you.